Blueprints is a game of mysteries where no two playthroughs are the same. It's a roguelike puzzle strategy adventure. Your great uncle has passed away and left you his 45-room mansion on one condition: that you uncover the 46th room. When you open a door, you'll choose one of 3 unique rooms for it to be. Closet, for example, gives you useful items, but it's a dead end. You need more paths to continue. Bedrooms might give you more steps to explore. Green rooms might have dig spots, but just like real gardens, they've got to be drafted on the outer edge of the house. This board game mechanic is so thematic, and it's how you progress through the game. You've got luck that shuffles up the deck, but it's really your strategies that forge your unique path. Everything in Blueprints is skippable. No puzzle is necessary. The cel-shaded visuals are richly detailed. The core mechanics are simple, yet there's enough depth here to play it for a year, which I did. Blueprints is a game people will talk about a decade from now, and I look forward to trying new experiences inspired by it. It's the pinnacle of innovation. I give Blueprints a 95. The sequel to Hollow Knight was a once-in-a-lifetime gaming experience. In its 7 years of development, hungry fans built a culture of memes around waiting for Silksong. When it finally launched, this game crashed Steam for 4 hours as an indie game, and it did not disappoint. Hornet is an acrobatic princess with a deeply customizable toolkit. Just like Hollow Knight, exploration is incredibly open. The bosses and the Walk of Shame, to refight them, can be infuriating, but most of them can also be skipped. Get creative or get good. The choice is yours. The art direction is fantastic, yes, but it's really the sound design that immersed me the most. Little grunts, humming, or sweeping orchestral tunes. Everything about Silksong is just auditory perfection. This is a game that every future Metroidvania will be compared to, so good luck to them. I'm docking it a few points for being a sequel, but Silksong is a fantastic 92.
Dispatch is a funny game because it's not so secretly a TV show. You play as Robert Robertson III. He's a former superhero who gets his second chance by working as a superhero dispatcher. You manage a team of ex-convicts who bring different skills and personalities to the table. You might take down a donut shop burglar or save a cat from a tree. It starts fairly easy until you get flooded with calls. The gameplay is much more fun than it has any right to be. There's 8 episodes, which is just enough time to innovate the call center and hacking gameplay without overstaying its welcome. But let's be real, we aren't here for the gameplay, we're here for the waifu wars. I mean, art direction and writing. I was glued to my screen, so much so that I overlooked all the potty jokes and crass humor that would normally have been a deal breaker for me. If there's a season 2, please give us more office drudgery than my favorite scenes. Dispatch is a fantastic 90-point game.
Peepy Stello and the Cursed Yo-Yo calls itself the first ever Yo-Yo-Vania. It takes place in a bustling city that's run by different crime families. You've got to take them down and explore by learning different yo-yo tricks. You can walk the dog to cross water, then bounce off a wall. It's rare for an action platformer to have such clever puzzles, and it's all tied together by your yo-yo, which, by the way, is deeply customizable. For example, do you like powerful charge attacks or quick cyclones? You've got so many choices that can be further customized with badges, but my favorite ability system are contracts, which feel just like deals with the devil that you might make with the Mafia. You take on a loan, which gives you a temporary debuff like -1 attack, and as you collect enough money to repay the loan, you'll then earn a permanent skill, which can then branch off into new abilities off a skill tree. I also think the writing is really clever. It's way more involved than you'd expect from a game that looks like a Game Boy Advance. Peepy Stello and the Cursed Yo-Yo is so much fun to say, but more than anything, it's a love letter to all the handheld games you loved as a kid. It's a fantastic 90.
Consume Me is the love child of WarioWare and Persona. You play as Jenny, a quirky high school girl who navigates the complexities of being a teenager. You only have so much time in a day. How do you spend it? You can study, exercise, do your makeup, walk your dog. There's all sorts of activities, but the twist is all of the things you can do and the minigames themselves are charming and fun. All of them. I can't remember the last time I had fun doing chores in a video game, let alone every single activity. There is so much style and love that's just baked into every nook and cranny, and the way Consume Me is set up, there's always something captivating right around the corner. Never a dull moment for Jenny. Consume Me was made by only 5 developers, one of which was the inspiration for the story. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of coming-of-age stories that are moody and depressing. Consume Me tackles tough, real themes in an upbeat, celebratory way. It's authentic, it's a great game, and I give it 88 points. The Drifter calls itself a pulp adventure thriller. You're Mick Carter, a hobo who's been drifting a while now, moving from job to job, never staying in one place too long. On a boxcar leading to his hometown, Mick witnesses a violent murder and gets wrapped up in a deep conspiracy. The Drifter is a point-and-click game, but without all the baggage of this aging genre. It's rare for me to be gripped by both the gameplay of the puzzle solving and the story itself. The puzzles can be challenging, but they're always fair. Without giving too much away, the game finds new ways to innovate and reverse all of your assumptions, but the secret sauce here is the voice acting. Mick's story is elevated to tremendous heights by his performance. It's always a joy to see how he reacts to all the nonsense that he's constantly thrust into. I also think it's cool that we play as a bum. The Drifter tackles the themes of humanity and homelessness without ever feeling like it's pandering. It's a great game. I give it 88 points.
Starvaders is awesome. You've got grid-based tactics and you've got roguelike deck building. You'll protect humanity with your choice of 3 different mechs. You've got the Gunner, which fights with ranged bullets and bombs. The Stinger is a melee ninja that zaps energies to recharge its own battery. And the Keeper is crazy. It's a ghost summoner that floods the board with minions and it casts powerful spells. All of these mechs have wildly different playstyles that can be further customized with different pilots. A small but really cool innovation is how the game handles difficulty. You can re-roll and rewind, but they're tied to a limited resource that you can farm, but only if you play really well. The replayability is off the charts here, so thank goodness there's a catchy cyber sci-fi soundtrack to keep you company. Starvaders is a great game. It's super fun and innovative. I give it an 87. In Despelote, you're a wild young kid growing up in Ecuador. It's the early 2000s and everyone here loves football. Despelote has great controls. Kicking with your mouse feels perfectly intuitive. You might pass a ball in the park with your friends or punt balloons at a fancy party. You might hide under a table with your sister or pound booze with teenagers. Despelote plays with hazy memories and impressions. You're growing up in the backdrop of reality with the occasional Ecuadorian history lesson, but your experience is made dreamlike through clever use of color. This game is deeply personal, which makes the hyper-specific story somehow universal. And most importantly to me, it's an actual game and not just a mood piece. I am so tired of art house experiences. Give me a game that makes me feel something. As a person, I find soccer to be very boring and even I enjoyed my time. That means you might really love Despelote. It's a solid 86 and an experience I won't forget. Eat the moon. In Skate Story, you're a demon made of glass and pain, and as you skate through hell, that's your goal. Eat the moon. There's poetry in there, but I'm too busy pulling sweet kickflips and ollies to sweat it. What I love about Skate Story is how grounded and weighty the controls are. Gaining speed takes effort. You have to work for it and build momentum, and it feels so good to nail a jump over nails because your top speed is its own reward. As you navigate the surreal neon landscapes of hell, you slowly learn more tricks, but don't get careless. You will shatter a lot. I mean, it is hell, but it's hell with a singular vision because Skate Story was made by one developer, Sam Eng. It's like he made an interactive art installation, except Skate Story is made of glass and pain. Eat the moon, my friends. This game is a wicked 86.
Many Nights a Whisper can be finished in under an hour, but it sits with you longer than that. You're a teenager training for a single ritual shot. You have one chance to fire a sling across the sea. During the day, you practice. At night, people come to a confession wall and tell you their wishes. You decide whether to cut their braid and accept the wish or not. That's the whole game. The wishes start small, but then they get complicated. Some are generous, some are selfish. Some feel dangerous in ways far beyond a teenager's scope, but you can't reject them all because each wish enhances your slingshot. The more wishes you accept, the stronger your sling becomes, and the harder it is to control. Responsibility has literal weight. When the ritual begins, your save is erased. No crosshairs, no undos. Whatever happens, happens. Many Nights a Whisper is about sitting with uncertainty, about deciding what kind of world you want to make. It's quiet, it's thoughtful, and at $3, it's well worth your time. It's a solid 85.
Peak is a game that's just funny. The devs didn't write any jokes, but the mechanics of climbing together with friends naturally leads to many hysterical moments and great stories. So you and up to 3 friends crash land on an island, and your only way out is to climb straight up. Every run makes you climb a massive generated mountain by managing your teamwork and your stamina. Littered throughout are treasure chests in the form of luggage. These items are useful, but they can be heavy. The more you carry, the less stamina you have. You can have friends be a pack mule, and then you can pull them up with your arms arms, and then your friend falls off a cliff. Classic Peak. They will revive if you make it to the next biome, which is kind of like a checkpoint. I love the different scenery as you climb further and further. It definitely escalates the feeling of tension. By the way, I know it's common to call this genre friend slop, but Peak is unique to me in that even climbing by yourself is fun, and the merit badge system made me want to farm achievements more than any other game in a long time. I know I'm biased with a name like Scoutmaster Demi, but Peak is truly Peak. I give it an 84. Death Howl is a deck builder that's not a roguelike. You explore a bleak and minimalistic pixel world as Ro, a grieving mother who's searching for her son in a spirit realm, the land of the dead, which I believe has Scandinavian origins. Each region has its own card pool and skill tree, and if you bring cards from other regions, they cost extra mana. This is how Death Howl makes you try new decks without being a roguelike, and with combat on an isometric grid, there's plenty of ways to approach each battle. Sometimes the best defense is running away, while other times you want to guard while you're in the fray. It's very punishing to take damage because healing on the map restores all the enemy encounters. Killing monsters helps you craft new cards, so even if things get brutal, you're still making progress, but that brutality is real. You don't fully know what enemies are capable of. There's lots of trial and error. If you're the kind of person who loves a good challenge and doesn't mind grinding, you'll love Death Howl. It's an 83. The Roottrees Are Dead is a detective game, but it's the 90s, and you're searching for clues on the ancient dial-up internet. A famous family has died, but not all of them. The Roottrees are a massive dynasty, and you're tasked with filling out the family tree. As you gather clues, you'll learn lots of benign, simple facts and lots of shady things. Sometimes you feel like you're a TMZ journalist or maybe the popular girl from high school who had all the tea, because even though you gather public information, boy, is it spicy. The kind of gossip you just can't turn away from. So the whole game is pretty much about finding 90 years worth of spicy tea and dragging it out of Windows 99. It's challenging but fair, and it has some secret bangers to listen to. I haven't beaten Oberdin myself, but I really like the simplicity of the Roottrees. Keyword searching is surprisingly fun. The Roottrees may be dead, but I give it an 82. Absolum is a roguelike beat-em-up, which I think is the first of its kind. It's certainly the first Scottish beat-em-up with a dark elf swordsman, a gunner dwarf, a ninja puppet, and a frog wizard. The genre has gotten very stale as far as beat-em-ups go, but Absolum tries to solve this with branching paths and choice-based upgrades. They're like boons in Hades, where your decision will last for the run. I wish these upgrades were a little more meaningful, but boss kills do lead to awesome new playstyles. Combat is crunchy, it's stylish. I love that combos are less about juggling and more about playing defensively. The permanent progression is kind of weird though. Beat 'em ups are fast-paced, and that doesn't quite mesh with the slow and grindy progression here. Sometimes feels more like padding an Absolum than content, but it is rewarding to see your own skills genuinely improve, and couch co-op is where Absolum really shines. It's an 80, and I want to see a lot more from this team. Baby steps, man, where do I begin? Okay, so you're Nate, an all too relatable sad sack who gets warped to a mysterious mountain, but Nate can barely move, and he's so socially awkward that he turns down anything that might make a hiking video game easier. No shoes, no climbing gear, not even a map. So you're out here barefoot in a onesie, slipping and falling every second because you control Nate one leg at a time. We take walking for granted, especially in video games. Baby steps makes you appreciate the little things, and boy, does it love to troll you. Make one wrong move on a slope, and you'll slip and slide for what feels like 5 minutes as you watch all of your progress slowly dissolve before your eyes. But you can also get a propeller hat. So again, it's the little things. Baby steps is not for the faint of heart. Within minutes, you know exactly what kind of game it is and just how difficult things will be. Whether it's a game for you is a different question. I'm just glad something like this exists. I'll give Baby Steps an 80. Detective Instinct Farewell My Beloved is a mystery game inspired by the Nintendo DS and especially Ace Attorney. A woman vanishes without a trace on a cross-country train. The catch is that nobody remembers her. Nobody except for you. Detective Instinct is the first game from a small team, and they nailed it with their characters. They're dramatic, they're memorable, they've got excellent expressions in that Ace Attorney style. They tend to be a little too virtuous, but enticing characters are what make a great visual novel. And Emma really is the star of the show. Your partner is studious and polite, but just enough of a thrill seeker to get the action going. It's a pretty cozy experience, and the game is simple. Maybe even too simple. There aren't many decisions and you can't really fail. Some solutions in the story feel totally unearned, but still, Detective Instinct is solid, and I especially recommend it to folks who want to try video games and are too intimidated by complicated setups. I'll give it an 80, and I'm curious what Harmonica will cook up next. Dogwitch is a roguelike that's powered by magic dice. You roll 5 dice at a time, and each icon represents your toolkit. You've got damage, shield, spells, summon, stuns, and you can also reroll twice. Since you know what the enemy will do, turns in Dogwitch become these micro puzzles with risk and reward. Do you play it safe with the shield, or do you maximize your rolls and fish for damage? The best defense is a good offense, but you're not guaranteed to roll it. As you can tell, RNG is a factor, and if you're a little baby who loses their mind over luck management games, this is definitely not for you. But ironically, Dogwitch can serve as baby's first deck builder because your builds aren't bloated. The equipment system is a masterclass in elegance. Dogwitch is both accessible and challenging. If you like lo-fi vibes and can forgive an unpolished game for its very polished mechanics, give this good boy a try. Dogwitch is an 80. Hades 2 is a polished action roguelike, but it's way too safe a sequel. You are the daughter of the Greek god Hades, who is trying to save her family from the titan Kronos. There are many things to love about Hades 1, like the fast-paced action, the excellent voice work, the story that unfolds as you lose but grow stronger. Developer Supergiant took this formula and enhanced it. Magic is emphasized, Omega attacks add some new weight to combat, the game keeps finding ways to hand you new toys, but the soul of Hades 1 was not in the combat, but in the scenario. Zagreus was this sarcastic, witty, somewhat spoiled son with a heart of gold but major daddy issues. The father-son dynamic was compelling. But Milenoe is so dry. She's focused and purposeful, yes, but she has none of that Zagreus charm, and her mission just feels superficial. Hades 2 is a polished package, one that does work really well, but it's not a game I'm going to revisit like I did with the original. It's an 80. Keep Driving is a roguelike that's all about wanderlust. You're young and on a road trip with your first car. You can cruise towards a music festival or get sidetracked by hitchhikers with their own goals, all while juggling fuel and cash. There's all sorts of encounters. Instead of fighting monsters, you might find road bumps or a slow tractor that's ahead of you. It's a simple turn-based system and your hitchhikers help, but there's also towns to visit and all sorts of items you'll need for a road trip. The UI, it's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's very immersive. I love the rear view mirror. On the other hand, it's extremely busy and overwhelming. Most of the time, I was more confused than confident about anything, especially with item management. I also wish Keep Driving featured more, I don't know, vibes. Like, the music and the detailed pixels are so great. They whisk you away, but you're constantly ambushed by encounters. I know it's a roguelike, but people are not playing this for challenging combat. Let me chill for a bit longer, please. I don't have the patience to learn the systems, but this is the sort of game I imagine as passionate fans. To me, Keep Driving is a 78. Finally, the first Splatoon-style Metroidvania. In Constance, you're an artist with a paintbrush. That's how you fight and how you move. Your abilities are tied to a paint meter that recharges over time. You can't just mash or you'll be drained and take double damage. Constance encourages restraint, which feels thematic because isn't all great art restrained? It's hard to recommend Constance over Silksong, but the differences might be meaningful for you. You might be drawn to the dreamlike and colorful world as opposed to something more dreary, and Constance has much less rage bait than Silksong does. It manages to be both skillful and a vibe. If you're looking to explore a world without spiking your blood pressure, check out Constance. It's an interesting 77. I'm a huge Sonic fan, so I had to try Haste. This is a momentum game. The levels are randomly generated, so you're always thinking fast, adapting to the scenery. But what's most important are your jumps. You're constantly launching up, and the real trick in Haste is to angle your body just right. The levels are full of hills, and if you angle your body as you hit the ground, you will build even more speed. Going fast is its own reward, but there's also this poisonous miasma that chases and kills you if you're not fast enough. It sounds pretty cool, but after a while, the gameplay gets tedious. The roguelike elements, and especially the story, are just so shallow. I like the idea of constantly adapting to new, quick levels, but I wish the stages themselves had more depth to them. They get more and more challenging, but they stop being fun. I give Haste a 76, but I'm eager to see what this team cooks up next. And Roger is a short narrative that's better off being experienced without knowing too much about it. The gameplay is intentionally restrained and it's odd. You're moving sliders, you're pressing buttons in strange sequences, you're performing mundane actions that feel heavier than they should. It's not quite a visual novel, it's more like a visual scrapbook. And Roger was made by a very small Japanese team. The creator Yona calls it an interactive fiction that lets you experience the distortion of perception. I have to say, I can forgive janky controls if there is a compelling story, but there's a certain spirit that's missing from this. It's kind of like a reflection of a reflection instead of something authentic. But hey, and Roger is only $5, so you might enjoy this short and minimalistic romp. It's certainly very interesting. I'd give it a 75. Okay, I had really high expectations for Wanderstop. It had a phenomenal trailer featuring a warrior who was stuck inside a cozy game, and it's made by Davey Rendon, who made the Stanley Parable. You play as Alta. She was an undefeated warrior, but now she's on a losing streak, so she seeks a master to help her recover. But burnout is real. Just holding her sword makes Alta collapse. That's when she's saved by Boro, the owner of the Wanderstop Cafe, and Alta begrudgingly becomes a barista, at least until she recovers. As you roam through the vibrant pink and purple landscape, you sweep leaves, you water plants, you brew tea for customers. If that sounds like chores to you, you'd be right. It's just not that fun, mostly because the characters you brew tea for are either very annoyingly wordy or just plain forgettable. Alta and Boro are both great, but because Wanderstop relies on its messaging, which is pretty heavy-handed, their story of healing and acceptance just isn't as impactful as I was hoping. I'd rank it an average 72. The last game I want to talk about is Artist Impact. This game piqued my curiosity from a long time ago because of its absolutely gorgeous pixel art style. It might be the most beautiful game in that 2D sphere that I've ever seen, and even more impressive, it's only made by a single developer. However, oh my lord, the story is awful, 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 awful. It just goes to show that you really do need to actually pay people to have a script and work on story, because you can put so much charm and personality into the style of a game, but if the substance isn't there, it's just awful. I could not bring myself to play more than 45 minutes of this. If you played and enjoyed it, do let me know if it gets better, because I don't even really want to review this. I feel like it's not fair considering how little time I played, but I feel pretty convinced this game is bad.